This is Montreal Now with Aaron Rand and Natasha Hall. CJAD 800.
All right, that is James Mennie. Hey, Jim, big enough storm for you? What do you think?
Well, I got to tell you, I woke up this morning. I woke up I got up at about 5. And I woke up, and I was expecting. I have a patio door in my, leads off my kitchen. I was expecting to see half the patio door covered in snow, and in fact, it was only like maybe 1 inch accumulation, and then the rain just washed all that away. And right now, what's freaking me out are the wind gusts. But I got to tell you, when I woke up this morning, there were a grand total of 4 power outages affecting about maybe 138 people this morning on the island of Montreal. There are now 21,000 people without power, and it has just blossomed. I mean, you have to ask yourself the question right now, and I just mentioned this to our nice Emily, our producer. What do you think Quebecers will be talking about between now and New Year's? Will it be the state of the French language? Will it be the state of the Quebec identity? Or will it be perhaps the state of Hydro-Quebec's distribution system? Because I got to tell you, I know it's a weather cocktail, a weather bomb, whatever, but this is really taking on third world proportions here. When the entire, I know they get it, lit back up maybe in 24, 48 hours, but it's no fun while you're there. And this is exactly the kind of thing that people remember, especially around Christmas. I know things are crazy everywhere, but the reality is this is not extraordinary anymore. These weather events are not, the storm of the century. It's the storm of this week. So I think some questions will be asked down the road.
We had a Hydro spokesperson on earlier in the afternoon telling us, and the number, by the way, you may have heard Tom mention this in the news, is over 300,000 people now without power.
Yep.
But you're right. It seems like every time the word storm comes up, there is going to be a hydro problem. This one is big because it's province-wide, basically. We actually lucked out here in Montreal to some degree, at least so far. I don't know, Jim. You can complain till the cows come home. What's going to happen?
Well, this is the thing, right? It's an above-ground distribution system, and we've had this conversation before. What do you do? Do you ban trees? And because that's what's knocking down the wires. Yeah. I think a lot of this as well, though, is we're also seeing literally a cascade effect when the system gets overtaxed because a lot of it is just not working. And here we are. I mean, I'm looking. There isn't a single region in Quebec right now that isn't being. Côte-Nord's got maybe 17 clients. Everybody else is in 5-digit amounts. But it's 2023 on the verge of it. And here's Francois Legault and the man who I used to refer to as Mad Dog Fitzgibbon because of his casual acquaintance with the National Assembly Ethics Commissioner, but who now, I don't know if you saw his interview at MontrealGazette.com about the future. He's the energy minister. From now on, I'm calling him Sparky Fitzgibbon.
Oh.
This guy, it's all about the electricity, guys. It's all about the electricity, and we have got to be good Quebecers, which I really love. We've got to be good Quebecers and turn down our thermostats because we're using too much of that gosh darn electricity, and we need it to attract businesses here so they'll settle, create jobs, and revel in our cheap electrical power.
What the electricity that people care about right now is if they can heat up their tortilla on Christmas Eve and cook their turkey dinner on Saturday. And if they can't, there's going to be hell to pay. And they won't care about, electricity being, funding anything else anywhere else or what language you're speaking in your house or how much those checks from Francois Legault were for. All they're going to care about is no turkey dinner.
Well, exactly. And you've hit the nail on the head. And this is exactly what people remember. This is quite literally in your backyard. And you can talk till you're blue in the face. The climate is changing. We always talk about the weather. We never talk about the climate. But here I am saying, you call that a storm. And, listen, I got my fingers crossed. Those winds could bring the tree in front of my house down out my house between now and midnight. But the fact is there are, at this point, with 350, usually the multiples by 4, there's about 1.5 million Quebecers out of a population of 8.8 million right now that are united in their frustrations, their questions, and quite frankly, their simmering Yuletide anger against a power company which is synonymous with the provincial government. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the government in power, so to speak, responds to the complaints that I know are going to be tumbling down between now and New Year's and perhaps even after.
Let me move from one minister to another. So instead of Pierre Fitzgibbon, Eric Girard gave his year-end interview to the Gazette yesterday, said a couple of interesting things. Look, he's the kind of person, in having seen him and talked to him, he seems like a pretty reasonable man.
Very reasonable, yeah.
But to say that one of the things he'll be doing, he keeps talking about being new in the job, because he is, right? It's only been a little while. He's finance minister still. He says he's going to help clear up the confusion over Bill 96, which I found interesting because there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of confusion. It seems pretty clear to me, Jim. This is what the bill says. This is what it's going to have as an effect on Anglophones here. What's he clearing up exactly?
I think it's damage control. I think, I don't doubt his sincerity. I actually believe that, and not just with this provincial government, but the whole issue of Anglo services, the whole issue of linguistic rights in Quebec is so low priority for any Quebec government. I think he literally didn't see the law until he was named to this portfolio. And quite frankly, I think he may be somewhat aghast at what he's seen. To tell the Anglo community, or to tell the critics of Bill 96 that you don't understand what's going on. Like you say, it's not that difficult. It is in the law. Whether it ranges from anybody being able to anonymously rat you out if a physician has the temerity to address you in English because he or she figures that's the best way to deal with your health issue, or whether, immigrants who have been here for 6 months do not master the French language, but nevertheless should only receive the services in French. That's all there. It's very, very clear. And to obfuscate, I'm not accusing Mr. Girard of this, but for the government to obfuscate on this, to pretend that, you just don't understand, we understand full well. And I want to be optimistic, guys, and say maybe in the first, say, half of 2023, you're going to see this government throttle back on 96 because they know it's indefensible. And they don't have a pandemic to hide around. And they don't have, they're going to be looking at economic problems. We're probably going to plunge into a recession. The idea that you're going to wrap yourself up in some, banner of linguistic purity while people who aren't, who are still waiting for the power to be restored are looking at their buying power diminish, looking at their economic prosperity diminish. Good luck with that. But I have a sneaking suspicion that they probably will do as much as they can, at least to turn the volume down on Bill 96 in 2023.
Well, I guess to that end, they turned down Simon Jolin Barrett's volume. That was step one, possibly.
Yes, but on the other hand, we've got that nice Mr. Jean-François Roberge, who already covered himself in glory, so to speak, in the education portfolio. He's in charge of the French language portfolio. Who knows what's going to happen? But what I do know is maybe someone's going to have to sit down, the Premier of Quebec, and say, the next time someone contradicts you, don't double down, because it's not going to be good for any of us.
James Mennie will take us to traffic. Jim, thanks so much. That's
Happy
it for
holidays.
us. Yeah,
that's exactly.
You bet.
I hear it's me and Hertel for the next couple of weeks. We'll try to leave, get the breakables out of the studio before you go. But listen, all the best. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, be safe, and we'll see you in the new year.
All the best to you, my friend. Take good care.
Bye-bye.